Are you looking for an athletic scholarship? You're in the right place. This is the Recruit Me Athletic Scholarship Podcast, the longest-running podcast on recruiting and athletic scholarships. We're here to help your family navigate the recruiting road all the way to an athletic scholarship. He's a recruiting expert and a dad of 2 college athletes. He has a wealth of experience to share. Here's Recruit Me CEO, Brent Hanks.
Welcome to episode 321 of the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. The Athletic Scholarship Podcast is one of the many recruiting resources that is in the Recruit Me toolbox. Many of these tools are free and others are very inexpensive, and you can put them in your own toolbox. All the tools are housed at the recruit-me.com website. The recruit-me.com website is getting ready to get a new look and upgrade, and you'll be able to get the free Recruiting Power Pack, the free monthly Recruit Me newsletter, and the free weekly podcast, the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. Also, the recruit-me.com website houses information on the Recruit Me 3.0 Athletic Scholarship System. The Recruit Me 3.0 system is the hammer in your recruiting toolbox. For only $127, you get information about the myths about athletic scholarships, the 7 steps to an athletic scholarship, frequently asked recruiting questions, recruiting rules, advice from Recruit Me families, the importance of academics, and more. There is a 200-plus page manual and workbook, and there are videos to walk you through the recruiting process. The website also gives you access to the Athletic Scholarship Playbook and the Athletic Scholarship 24-month Planner and Journal. Both of those books were written by Recruit Me founder John Fugler. These are 2 great and inexpensive resources for your recruiting journey. Let me introduce you to my nephew, Easton Hanks. Easton just graduated from Westminster College in Fulton, Missouri. He played defensive back for the Blue Jays. Westminster is a Division III football program. During his career, his team and him played 10 games in his first year, only 3 games because of COVID his second year, and 8 games his senior year. He graduated in May of 2022 with a business administration degree, and over his 21 games he played, he had 36 tackles, 3 assists, 11 pass breakups, and 4 interceptions. Easton and my son Parker both graduated high school from Ozark High School in Ozark, Missouri, and played on the baseball team together, and Easton also lettered in football and was named All-Conference Defensive Back and All-District Defensive Back his senior year. Ozark is a 6A level school, which is the highest level in the state of Missouri. Let's get into the interview with Easton and learn how he ended up at Westminster after not playing after his first year of high school. Well, Easton, welcome to the Athletic Scholarship Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, we're just going to jump in and kind of tell your story here just a little bit. So tell us what you did after high school and how you ended up at Westminster College in Fulton, Missouri.
So after high school, I went to OTC. I used my A+ money for a year. And then kind of halfway through the semester, I kind of missed football. I went to an Alabama-Arkansas game with my family. And it's kind of the atmosphere kind of drew me back into wanting to play football. So kind of started going on I think it was called Be Recruited or something like that. And I started putting my information in and reached out to Westminster College. And they reached back and went up for a visit and loved the campus, loved the school, loved the athletic program. So I ended up in Fulton, Missouri.
And so did you know anybody in Westminster or what? How did they come up?
No, I didn't know anyone. I just saw them and they kind of reached out to me. And so we just kept talking. I was talking to his name was Coach Villarreal, and he wanted me to come up and visit him. And so that's kind of how it happened. I didn't know anyone up there. So.
And how far away is Westminster, Fulton, Missouri from home here in Ozark?
It's about 2 hours and 40 minutes, something like that.
And you said you went up and visited the coach and you visited the campus and really liked it. What did you like about the campus?
Well, Westminster is kind of a historic college. They had Winston Churchill give a speech in the athletic gym where the basketball team plays. And then they also have a Winston Churchill Museum. And then they have like the largest Berlin Wall piece on their campus. And so it was a cool campus. It was kind of like an old timer looking campus. And they just got a new football field about 3 years before I got there. It was brand new turf. And so all of that kind of drew me in and loved the campus.
And what level of play does Westminster play in?
They play Division III football.
Division III football. So there's no athletic scholarships in Division III football. Were you able to get some academic money through different sources?
Yeah, I got some athletic scholarships academic scholarships from my transfer, and kind of my A+ money still kind of kicked in a little bit.
How did they determine how much money you got? Was it grade point? Was it just classes that you transferred over from OTC, Ozark Technical College, or was it ACT or SAT scores, or do you remember?
I can't remember what exactly it was, but I had a 4.0 transfer from OTC, so I think that kind of helped it out. And then I think it was kind of the grade point average and kind of all the credits, because I transferred to Westminster with 50 college credits, I think is what it was. So I had quite a bit of credits already.
Tell our audience a little bit. A+ money in Missouri. What does that mean, and how did you get that? How did you get that money and be able to use it for a junior college?
So A+ money is you go to either junior high school, or elementary schools, and you kind of tutor little kids, and it's like a scholarship thing where if you go to OTC, it pays for OTC for, I think, 2 years is what it is. And if you go to, I think anyone in Missouri, I don't know if
I think it's any junior college or community college in Missouri, you're eligible for A+ if you did the work in high school.
Yeah, so I think it paid for all of my OTC besides books, but I lived at home for free. And then I don't know what it does at junior colleges, but I'm sure it pays for quite a bit of it.
And you took some college credit classes in high school too, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a dual credit, I think is what it's called, right, in high school at OTC.
You were able to go into Westminster basically as a sophomore athletically and probably a sophomore or junior academically.
Yeah, that's correct.
And you just graduated from Westminster. When did you graduate, and what degree did you graduate with?
I graduated May 14th of 2022, and I graduated with a business administration and minor in economics.
Isn't it amazing how we always know the exact day that we graduate? So that's because that's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So you kind of mentioned that you kind of miss football. Tell us a little bit about your high school career in both football and you also played baseball at Ozark, and what kind of how hard it is to play at Ozark. It's a 5A, 6A level school in the state of Missouri, which are the two upper levels, and how that kind of prepared you a little bit, and how that affected you in wanting to go ahead and play college football.
So the first game we played in high school, we played against the number 4 state ranked Carthage, and it was their brand new opening field, just built a new stadium, and it was nice. And it was my first varsity start. I had to guard this guy named Arkell Smith, and he went to, I think, UCM, Central Missouri. And he was tall and he was fast. And I led the team in tackles and pass defenses, and then I had a big breakup on 4th and 7 to kind of help us win that game. And it was awesome to start the season like that. And then, unfortunately, due to injuries, I think the injuries kind of kicked in, and we didn't end so hot.
You played a little bit your junior year varsity, and then you basically started all your senior year, didn't you?
Yeah.
And what kind of accolades did you get from your senior year for football?
I was all conference, all district, and then I made this all-star game with like kind of Southwest Missouri athletes all around. So anywhere from class 1 to class 6.
And then, and just kind of bring up baseball a little bit again. You and Parker basically graduated together, and so unfortunately, my families that listen have to hear about Parker all the time. But you guys had a really good baseball team and had probably 10 guys that could play baseball, and you kind of the same action. You played some varsity your junior year, and then had a really good senior year in baseball too, didn't you?
Yeah, we had a good team senior year. Probably should have won one state, because we had 2 D1 pitchers on our team and kind of just choked in the district finals to Kickapoo.
Well, and I just actually mentioned in one of my podcasts that you guys get to play against a lot of good players, and Mason Hour is now with the Tampa Bay Rays, so that's one of the guys that you had to play against in high school. and no telling what other guys went on and played some Division I that you guys played against. So,
Yeah.
and the reason I kind of bring this up is you played at a high level in high school. How did that compare to the level of play at Westminster at a Division III type of school?
So going in, I kind of thought, everyone always says D3, it's not really like that much competition. So I went in there thinking that. First game I go and I got to guard this 24-year-old wide receiver who's fast, and the quarterback can sling that rock. And so I go in there thinking like, oh, it's going to be no big deal. I can guard whoever. Changed my mind real quick after game one. There's some good athletes, good quarterbacks, and D3, there's some good competition in D3. We had, I think it was 5 guys we had a guy transfer from Nevada, which is a D1 football program.
Right.
A kid transferring from like an Iowa JUCO, and then Big Ray came, and you've seen him, 6'5", 400 pounds, something like that. And then Meach, and he's another 6'4", 300 pounder. And, it's interesting to see those guys now to guard them in practice. And they were one of the hardest people to guard. Their footwork was incredible, and they were fast, and it was, and they could jump, and it's a different competition level for sure.
A lot of people get that D1 mentality, and getting an opportunity to play a college sport, whether it's Division III, Division II, Division I, NAIA, there are good players, and it still challenged you. I got to go up and watch you play, and there are some good teams that you got to play. Where all did you get to go? You guys kind of got hit by COVID. So yeah. you played like 8 games your first year and only 4 your second year, and 7 games your third year, if I remember right.
Yeah.
What kind of places did you get to go, or what teams kind of came in? Where were they from that you played against?
So our conference was SELAC, and we're the only team in Missouri in that D3 conference. So we went to Minnesota. We traveled all the way up to Michigan, kind of Illinois, Iowa. We played Nebraska teams. So it's kind of all northern teams. Oh, I guess we played a team in Mississippi, but we didn't have to travel. They came to us.
Yeah.
But most of the time it was kind of northern teams. And once you get up to like the last game of my senior year, it was Minnesota Morris, I think. And it was snowing that whole game, and it was cold, and it was a different kind of, you're not used to it from playing in Fulton.
Right. Yeah. You mentioned that you guys had a pretty nice new field. They didn't have like a lot of stands and stuff like that, but you had a great field to play on and practice on. What were some of the facilities like at other places that you got to play in Division III?
I would say one of the best ones that we went to was Northwestern, and they were in Minnesota, and they had our stadium was supposed to mimic their stadium. Program kind of lied to us for building stands.
Yeah.
And I think Nebraska Wesleyan had the best complex that we traveled to. And fortunately we were enough to play there. And it was kind of cool to see different facilities and stuff like that. But I think Nebraska Wesleyan's college is pretty neat, and they had a nice workout room and kind of indoor fields and stuff like that. And it was cool to see.
At Westminster, what kind of workout facilities, training facilities did you guys get to use?
So we have 2 workout rooms. One is called Hack, and it's kind of like the recreational one where anyone can go use. And then we have a one for kind of athletes. It's called Water Room, and it's the locker room's down there right by it, and it's right by the football field, and that's kind of where all the athletes go and work out. And it had I think there was like 8 different racks or something like that, and then you got all the dumbbells and bands and whatever else you need down there. So it's kind of nice just walking across the locker room to either the field or the workout room. So it's kind of nice. They're all kind of in one area.
And so you were at the Division III. You were never really lacking for good facilities or good training or anything like that, were you?
No.
What kind of advice would you give to a high schooler that was wanting to play college football for them to get ready to play?
I would say you got to work your butt off, because it's during those summers, it's pretty hot when you get up there. I learned that at the first summer. So you got to be pretty conditioned, and yeah, you just got to work your butt off, kind of get conditioned, work out, and I would say just enjoy it while you can, because it goes pretty quick.
What would a typical day of classes and practice kind of look like for you?
So I would probably wake up around 7:30, go to class at 8, and then we would have individual meetings at 10 a.m. and they'd probably last an hour, hour and a half. You kind of watch film and stuff, and then I would have another class after that. And let's say about 2 o'clock, you got workouts you'd go to, and then you have like a little rest, kind of go eat dinner, and then you got practice at 6 p.m. to like 8:30 kind of, and then you just kind of restart that day over and over.
And you guys, when you went on your travel trips, you took like private jets and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I don't think we could afford that at D3. We took charter buses. We rented charter buses. Usually we had an offensive, defensive bus, and there's about, I want to say 55 kids maybe traveled, something like that. So we did have a travel roster.
What was one of your takeaways, or a couple takeaways that you'll always remember from playing Division III football?
I would say that the first year I went up there, I wasn't expecting to start or anything like that. I expected to be like second string, but over the summer I kind of worked hard and it paid off. So one thing I took away was, you always work hard, it'll always pay off in the end. And that one saying, it's like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I thought it was always cheesy. And then, you go play college football or college athletes or whatever sports. And then it does, that saying actually paid off for me.
As you went up there were probably defensive backs that were bigger or faster or stronger than you. And you got opportunity to play because you went out there and showed something different and probably showed a little hard work that maybe they didn't. Yeah.
So one thing that kind of helped me is I'm not the biggest, not the fastest. So I was kind of always smart in football. I got that like football IQ kind of, and other kids didn't have that. So that kind of helped me out too, kind of studying film, and, I watch NFL and college football, and that kind of helps me out too. And so like also mentally is another challenge that other kids don't have, because they won't watch film and they won't know kind of techniques that wide receivers will have, and like how to run zone rather than just man all the time. You gotta know your coverages, because half the kids would get out there and they'd forget what a cover 3 is, or they'd forget the call, and then they'd get torched for a touchdown.
As an uncle, I'm going to brag on you a little bit, but you were always a gamer. You anytime growing up, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, when it was game time, that's when you kind of showed out a little bit. And you had 4 interceptions in college football in 21 games, and they probably didn't throw to your side very often. Every time I went to see you play or watched you on the web, I'm like, they're not throwing toward Easton. So you didn't get as many opportunities, I don't think, to get interceptions, because you usually were thrown away from it. It looked like.
Yeah, a lot of the times they would target other people, kind of other corners, because they'd give up like blown coverages. We did that quite a bit. And
yeah.
But yeah, so I just always knew the coverage, kind of knew how to play it, kind of watched film again, and just knew what the kind of tendencies of the receiver and quarterback would do, and kind of what route combinations they would do. And so watching film kind of pays off, and it helped me out quite a bit.
Kind of going back to how you got to Westminster, you said you got on a website and kind of found Westminster, and then you contacted them, correct?
Yeah, so I sent them my film kind of stuff, and they said we were interested, and they kind of texted me back. So that's kind of how this all happened.
So when you sent them film, was that from that was your high school film from, did you guys use Huddle in high school?
Yeah, from Huddle.
How long were your highlight tapes or highlight videos that you probably sent to them? Do you remember?
I think maybe anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
So super long.
And did you kind of do that, just put that together yourself? You got a hold of your football coach in high school, or you were able to access, I guess, your Huddle through a password, and you were able to put your videos together yourself?
Yeah, so I emailed Coach DePay, and he said, yeah, I'll let you back in. So he gave me the password to Huddle, and I went back and made my own Huddle highlight film.
Did you actually contact other schools other than Westminster?
Yeah, I contacted some other schools kind of around the area, and even like from Kansas, and they contacted me back. But I just love the location of Westminster and kind of the campus of Westminster, which drew me to Westminster.
Just for the for information for the people that are listening, Easton's sister, my niece, is playing basketball at William Woods, which is also, it's a division or it's an NAIA school in Fulton, Missouri. So you got to look out for your little sister for a year or so while she was up there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Or did she look out for you?
It was both ways sometimes.
Well, she had some football players to protect her while she was up there, didn't she?
Yeah, she had a couple bodyguards.
What are maybe one or two pieces of information if somebody was wanting to go play football out of high school? What would you suggest to them if they ask you, how do I get recruited?
I would always say after every game, go back and watch film and kind of star your plays that you could use as highlights, because it took me forever because I didn't do that.
Yeah.
And then tell them to get with you and get on the recruit me, and because it helped. That's what helped me. And Olivia did that when she was in the transfer portal. That's how she found William Woods kind of recruiting program, and go along with that. And then just don't get frustrated if it doesn't happen, because it eventually a college will find you. You can play anywhere.
So far, all of our family has benefited from reaching out to the schools, because nobody came to you while you're in high school and said, "Hey, we want you to come and play football for us," even though you played at a high level. And really, Parker and Sutton the same way. Olivia got recruited a little bit through some of her basketball, tournaments and stuff like that. But you guys all got to go places because you actually reached out and got a hold of some colleges and did some research on them, and that's what we teach at Recruit Me. So, Easton, any other little nuggets of advice, either football, classroom work, or recruiting that you can throw out to anybody that's listening?
One advice I would say is always go to class. Don't ever try to skip it. I know you're going to be tired after long days of playing sports and stuff, but you pay for the classes and it pays off to go to them, because most of the time, you're not going to be a pro athlete, and you're going to need that college education.
And again, you went through the COVID stuff while you were in college. So you end up having online classes. And do you think in the long run, that's kind of a good or bad thing that you guys had to go through on not being seated in class?
I think it's kind of a bad thing, because I'm going to be honest, I didn't really learn much during COVID, because you didn't really have to pay attention, and a lot of the answers were online.
Yeah. Do you think that not getting to be in class and getting to maybe be around students or professors, that's one reason I think you go to college, is to meet people. And you've brought a lot of your football players down to the lake and got to meet those type of people, and those are going to be people that you're going to be friends with all over the country forever, but also for business purposes. You'll probably have a lot of people that you'll lean on down the road as you get into your professional life too. So yeah, COVID unfortunately has not only cut you out of ball games, but it also cuts you out of classroom and some opportunities and maybe some learning opportunities. But you basically got out of high school and graduated from college in 4 years. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. 4 years.
Yeah. So you had to put your nose to the grindstone and take care of business so you could get out. Did you have any thoughts about playing your fifth year of at Westminster?
If they had a master's program, I probably maybe would have, but since they had a master's, I just didn't want to keep going to class for no reason.
Well, we're glad to have you back, and we're getting to play a little golf here together now that you're kind of back home and starting your profession. And is it kind of exciting to get out of school and start your life, or you would rather be back in school for a little while?
It's exciting. It's a little different because I still have some of my buddies going, and my girlfriend's still going to college, and she's got to wake up and do homework, and I'm sitting there waking up and going to work, not having to worry about homework. So it's a little different. But I enjoy it.
It was fun to watch you be a Blue Jay for I guess the 3 years, and it was fun to go up and watch you play, and excited that you reached out and kind of had decided not to play football, and then kind of had the hankering. And I think that kind of shows that if you go after whatever you set your sights on, then you can achieve it. So a lot of fun, and we enjoyed it. And we'll let you. You've had a hard day of work, so we're going to let you probably rest a little bit or do whatever a college graduate new professional does. What are you going to do tonight?
I'll probably just be playing Xbox.
Relaxing a little bit, maybe watching the Cardinals tonight.
Yep.
There you go. We appreciate you taking some time out after work today, and maybe we'll get you back on down the road. Get your sister on. Maybe we can do a little bit of brother sister stuff, and as she gets ready to start her I guess this will be her third year of basketball, won't it?
Yeah, well, we could get everyone on here, Parker, Sutton, and Olivia.
Parker, Sutton, Olivia, and then Cody had an opportunity to go play too. So we've been blessed that all of you guys took advantage of sports, not only in high school but in college, and I think you guys will learn a lot of lessons from it and have a lot of great memories from it. So,
yep.
Well, Easton, we appreciate it, and I'll let you go.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you to Easton for all the great information about his journey to Westminster, his college football career, and his college graduation. Please share this episode with other families that are looking for guidance on their son or daughter's recruiting path. Join me next week for another episode that will change your athletic scholarship future.